we weren't alone. If someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you?
Tara Hitchcock from Harkins Theaters, the largest independently owned theater chain based in Arizona, about, 5 minutes from your childhood home, Mr. Spielberg.
Aww.
Yes, North 49th Street. Do you know that?
I sure do. I'm at 66th and Exeter. And two of my
Nope.
kids went to Arcadia High, so yes.
Yep, I went there 3 years at Arcadia. Science fiction has been with me as long as I've been on this planet. And I've made a lot of movies about things that cannot be explained.
Congratulations on this. I wish we had an hour. I want to start with you, Mr. Spielberg. Let's assume you are right and there are aliens among us. What is the film of yours that you hope they have seen?
Well, I think they have much more important things to do than to watch any of my movies. I think that's way beyond their pay grade.
They got to love a movie-going experience just like we do.
I don't even think we can relate to whatever is out there that may be here. I think it's so removed from our, no matter where we're from, I think what's out there is so different than what's here. Although I think that can be a very good thing.
And car?
One of my favorite quotes is, "Death may end a life, but it doesn't end a relationship." And you kind of epitomize that to me, Mr. Spielberg, as it relates to your parents and how you've honored them while they were here and you continue to honor them. You've talked a lot about your dad introducing you to your love of the sky. I'm just wondering, what part of Disclosure Day do you think he'd get the biggest kick out of?
Well, I think the biggest kick my dad would get out of it is the question, is the cultural and moral question, that if we had these archives and the powers to be had control over the dissemination of this archive, would it be in the interest, the public interest, to disclose, or is it safer never to disclose? And I think that kind of an argument is what my father would really want to get into discussions about.
Hey, Mag, you okay? You okay? Are you all right?
Да, я в порядке.
Emily, some people are calling this the best performance of your career. I have loved you in everything that you've done. I'm wondering, when you hear things like that, does your husband ever get his feelings hurt? Because he too has brought out some great performances in you. And I'm wondering what you think Steven Spielberg brings out in an actor that maybe other directors don't.
I mean, I think that what Steven brings out is the full wingspan in you. I think he does this through great emboldenment. He believes in you. He believes in you more than you believe in yourself. I think all of us are sort of standing on the shoreline going, how on earth am I going to, swim this? And I think Steven just understands that you're going to be carried by a wave, and he supports you in that. And I think it's his joy. He just inflates your potential, I think. It's really exciting.
I'm wondering, there's that great scene where, as Margaret, you lose all sense of self, something takes over, you have no idea what's even happening. Is there an equivalent, and this is a question for both of you, is there an equivalent as an actor and as a director where there are days, and maybe when was the last time this happened? There are days where I have no idea what I just did. Something completely came over me. I gave my all, and I couldn't tell you what I even said.
Right?
Yeah.
I would say it's every day.
Yeah.
I think it's like a possession happens. You can pre-plan stuff. You can have an idea of what you might do. I don't think any idea of what I might do that day is ever the same as what ends up happening.
It creates a domino effect from day to day, because I'd like to keep a very open set, meaning that everybody can contribute their feelings about a line of dialogue or an intention underlying an entire scene. And the second Emily comes up with an idea, if I did this, I'm thinking, well, how will that affect everybody else in the scene? And then the sparks start flying. And it gets really exciting, because the choice she makes is going to change the choice of, let's say, Wyatt Russell. And we're going to quickly write some lines for him to basically respond to something that Emily came up with that morning. So every day was like going to a kitchen and messing around with a recipe that we were pretty confident in, but there was always some other as yet unfound seasoning that was going to make that day taste great.
Listen, I know they just wrapped me. You made your first sci-fi film at 17, 10 minutes from my house. I'm wondering what if that 17-year-old saw this film Disclosure Day, what would he be most excited you pulled off? Because maybe he actually visualized that as well all those years ago.
Well, I made a movie called Firelight when I was 17. Made it in Phoenix, and a lot of the actors were from ASU because I wanted the actors to look like they were adults, not a bunch of high school kids like I was at the time. And I made the movie, and I think the kid in me that made Firelight when I was 17 years old would look at Disclosure Day and say, "Wow, they gave you a lot of money to make that movie, not the $500 that I had to raise to make that one." Made it in Phoenix. And a lot of the actors were from ASU because I wanted the actors to look like they were adults, not a bunch of high school kids like I was at the time. And I made the movie, and I think the kid in me that made Firelight when I was 17 years old would look at Disclosure Day and say, "Wow, they gave you a lot of money to make that movie, not the $500 that I had to raise to make that one."
Whatever happens, don't you let go.